Hey, what is going on guys? My name is Chris and welcome back to another video. Now, again, I feel like I'm saying this every video, but apologies for the lack of uploads, especially over the last month or two. Life just gets in the way. I think the motivation slightly for kind of uploading YouTube videos has died down a bit, but last couple of weeks I've been saying to myself, I just want to sit down, make a video, talk about my investments, talk about to the camera a little bit and just make a video for you guys. Okay, now that we've got that out of the way, I think it's time to just talk about all things investing. And something that I've been kind of thinking about the last couple of weeks, and I'm sure there's lots of you guys who potentially are in the same sort of boats, thinking about the same sort of things. And by the title of today's video, you'll see what I want to kind of talk about and share with you guys. And that is how coming out of lockdown will impact our investing. Now, for the last year or so, obviously we've been living through a global pandemic. A lot of us have been working from home, staying indoors, not going out and socializing, not doing any of those things that we would normally do with friends and family, like going to restaurants, going to the cinema, going to the shops, and doing all those general things that we would do all the time. Now, me included, I have not been doing any of that pretty much over the last year, other than when sort of lockdowns come out a bit and we were able to go out sometime. Other than that, most of my life I've been indoors, I've been working from home, I've just been getting on my day to day, but predominantly saving a lot of money because I'm not doing those things. I'm not going for beers on the weekend, I'm not going for beers after work, I'm not going out for meals, I'm not doing things with friends and family. And when you don't do those things, like a lot of you, the money just sits there. I mean, if you can't spend it, unless you kind of, online shopping and buying random stuff off Amazon, which I know a lot of people do, I am not in that boat. So I've been able to kind of really sit down, get in to savings mode, save for things I want to do, but predominantly contribute to my investments. My Trading 212 account has grown so much over the last year. Recently I've started investing in some cryptos, which I think I might make a video in the next couple of weeks about, but essentially just investing and thinking about that, reducing my outgoings and just thinking about investing. But as a lot of you will know, particularly in the UK, things are starting to open up again. Things are starting to go back to normal in some ways. I think the last couple of weeks, from the 12th of April, restaurants started to open for outdoors, so you could sit outside and have food or go for a drink or whatever. Gyms started to reopen, which obviously subscriptions might come back into play. Restaurants, cafes, shops, and all those kind of things starting to open up and allowing us the option or the opportunity to go and visit these things and do those kind of things, and ultimately start to spend some of that money. Now, my investing journey, my savings goals, my sort of focus on my personal finance and investing has predominantly been over that last year. So this really is the first time where me putting the same amount of money away each and every month is going to be tested. And I've been thinking about it the last couple of weeks, thinking about how it's going to impact my investments. And to give you some examples of what I'm trying to think about here is scenarios where friends are going, should we go out for a beer on Saturday? Should we book somewhere? Should we go out for a drink? Which is fine. Or if you're in a similar position to me, you have a partner, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, who wants to go out for a nice meal because you haven't done it in so long. So you go out for a nice meal. You see friends and family a bit more in an outside setting. You want something to do at the weekend, so now you can go and visit Primark or shops. And the temptation and the realization that you can now start to spend money by doing things that we couldn't do is starting to creep back into our lives, and something I've been conscious about and thinking about. And I think the first thing that came into my head and the first thing that I was thinking about was, oh God, I'm not going to be able to save the same or invest the same amount of money each month. And started to feel a bit guilty about that, and starting to realize that I'm not going to hit the savings goals, the targets that I want to. And I think especially within the investment and personal finance space, I think In my opinion, and again, this might be slightly controversial, and please, if you disagree, leave it down in the comment section. I think there's a culture and a mindset around saving every pound, every dollar that you can. We see it all the time. I've done the videos on this in the past. Others will continue to do videos on this, and in the personal finance and finance in general, you'll see a lot of this about saying, don't buy that coffee, cancel the subscriptions. And if you took that £7 a month that you had and invested in the S&P 500 and you looked in 40 years time and compound interest, you'd be a millionaire. And that is very true, and that's something that I think is important to understand, and the value of compound interest in investing and what it can do for you in your life moving forward. But I feel like for me, I kind of went 100 degrees, to that, in sense of I can't spend any money on anything because I need to invest it because of these gains that I'll have in 30, 40 years time. And so what I'm trying to say, and in my opinion on this, is yes, shops are opening up. Yes, things and opportunities to spend money are going to occur and happen now. But that isn't necessarily a bad thing. And it shouldn't be a bad thing. And what I mean by that is you should still feel like you can go out and spend some of your money, and that you shouldn't feel guilty for spending any of your money. For me, investing is important, and it's something I'm going to continue to do for the rest of my life. But it's important to still live your life, and that's one thing I think sometimes I'm guilty of, whereas I might not go out for a beer with a friend because I want to save that money, or I won't go out for a meal with my girlfriend because I want to save that money. I won't buy her or get a nice gift because I want to save that money. You can still do those things, but just be self-aware and make sure you manage that accordingly. And so, for example, if you were saving £1,000 a month, right, but you're giving yourself a discretionary spend of £100, obviously meals and going out for things, that's going to increase. And what I'm kind of thinking about and what I'm going to be doing is revisiting my budget, adjusting it accordingly. Is there things that I want to do with friends and family that are coming up that are going to mean spending a little bit more money? Okay, that's fine, but I've got to make sure in my budget I allocate that. I still think it's important to cut out things that aren't bringing any joy and any happiness to your life. But it's equally important to spend money on things that you want to do, that you enjoy doing, and with people you enjoy being with. And that's the kind of the crucial part. Spending money is okay, but being conscious about how you spend your money and what you spend your money on is the important thing. And so, yes, moving forward, I will be adjusting my budget slightly, potentially saving slightly less, investing slightly less, so I can do those things that I haven't been able to do for the last year or so, and going out and seeing friends and family and doing those things. But I'm not going to feel guilty about it. I'm not going to sit down and go, well, if I'd have not done that thing, I could have saved that money and invested it. I think it's important to have a balance. You don't want to restrict your life. You don't want to do nothing with your life just because you want to aid compound interest. I think it's important to still do those things and make sure that you are still living your life. But on the flip side, this is now an opportunity where all the hard work that you might have done, like for me, for example, where this could be going completely the other way, where the pubs and the shops and everything's opening up, and to hell with the budget, to hell with saving money, you're out, you're seeing friends, you're doing those things, you're getting back to normal life and you're spending. It's still important to have that balance, and I think it's still important to have a budget and look at that and keeping an eye on that. And here's some things that I'm thinking about, some tips that I think are really important to ensure that you're not going completely the other way, where you're forgetting about that budget. And I think one of the important things, and you see it in every personal finance help book out there, any finance guru, you see it everywhere. If you follow that kind of stuff online, you'll see it everywhere. But paying yourself first is the most important thing, I think, in some ways. That's tip number one. That's something that I'm going to be really conscious of, is paying myself first and continuing to do that. Now, if I, for argument's sake, was saving £1,000 with what I was saying before about not being guilty, feeling guilty about doing the things I enjoy, then recalculating and going, okay, well, I'm going to be doing this, this and this, or I think I might be doing this, or I want a little bit of extra discretionary spend now that things are opening up, I might save £750 a month, which is fine. It's okay, it's still a substantial amount of money, it's still a large percentage of my salary goes into my savings, but I'm still making sure that I'm able to kind of do the things and enjoy my life and do what I want to do. And so it's important to pay yourself first, make sure that you put your savings away each month, then it's gone, it's done and dusted. You know, you don't have to worry about it, either you're saving or investing, I should say, and you don't have to worry about it. And you know, you don't have to dip into it every couple of weeks because you've spent too much on going out. So tip number one is just pay yourself first. And tip number two, really, as I've mentioned, is have a budget, have a goal, have, you know, a plan. If you're planning to go out, make sure you budget for that and you put money aside for those things, so when they pop up or you do go out, then you've got the money there and you know what you're going to spend. So having a budget, reallocating that budget for lockdown is important. And then just finally, one thing that is a bit more kind of just sort of emotional when thinking about it, but just not being, you know, not feeling guilty for doing any of this, for adjusting your budget. I think, you know, life throws up different things. Things happen in life where we have to be flexible with our plan, and our budget is exactly that. As long as we're working towards a goal, as long as we're, you know, planning and making sure that we're doing the right things, you shouldn't feel guilty for alleviating or moving away slightly from that plan. You don't have to save £1,000 every single month just because you've been able to do that for the last year. If you save 900 or, you know, 750 in the example I gave, that is also okay, in my opinion, because you're paying yourself first, you're prioritizing your savings, but you're also making sure to live your life and do the things that you want to do with the money that you have. Again, you know, and then finally, any money that you're spending on things that aren't bringing you joy, aren't bringing you happiness, aren't things that are important to your life, continue to get rid of those and continue to keep investing. But yeah, that's basically it really, guys. That's kind of what I've been thinking about the last couple of weeks with everything opening up again, and initially feeling a little bit guilty and feeling a bit like worried about kind of how I was going to manage that, but just being realistic, being honest with myself and realizing and just being conscious about the fact that, you know, things are going to open up. It's still okay to go do those things. It's still important to, you know, live your life and have relationships with people and do things, but ultimately just making sure that you're prioritizing your savings and the goals that you have. So hopefully that video has helped. Again, just sharing my opinion and my views and how I'm kind of managing my investing journey. If that's something you're into, always drop a like, drop a comment down below, and subscribe if you do want to. As always, you know, leave those comments and we can kind of discuss anything you want to in today's video. I did mention a few moments ago at the beginning of the video, I should say, that I was investing into crypto. I know it's the hot topic at the moment, especially the last couple of months with NFTs and all those kind of things. If you do want me to share my thoughts and show you my small portfolio that I have in Coinbase, let me know. I'm happy to kind of talk about that as well in another video moving forward. And as always, guys, I've been investing for the last year or so using Trading 212 to build my portfolio from a couple of £100 to nearly towards £10,000 in the last year or so. So if you do want to get into investing, if you do want to sign up for Trading 212, there's always a link down below for that. But again, as always, guys, leave a like, leave a comment, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. See you guys later. Bye.